how did this flow swimming idea translate into money for you at that time? Like it's a great concept, but what did that mean in terms of putting money in your bank account?
I mean, it was enough to get by. And when you're looking at, starting broadcast jobs, it's not like you're looking to really start putting money away from retirement at that point. It's looking for survival. So flow was tough. I moved in with the two Floriani brothers into one house with the programmer. And for the first year, slept on a mattress on the floor, but really didn't spend as much time there as you would think because I was on the road the whole time. So, that was the whole concept, is that we were like swimming. It was delayed gratification for what was going to pay off in the end. And the pay at that point was just enough to kind of get by. It included rent for living, which was huge. And I mean, in concept, it sounds great that your bosses will pay for your living, but when you live with your bosses and everybody that you work with, it makes it pretty tough to have any kind of balance or
Hmm.
any of that stuff. So it was a startup, and that's what you were supposed to do. You were all in it together, and it sucked, but it didn't matter. You were all in it together, and you're, young, and I was in my early 20s. They were in their late 20s, and it was just like we were taking on the world. So it didn't really matter. You didn't slow down to think about that. I was just so into the mission and so excited to be part of it, and that I got the opportunity. I was making enough money to live, and at that point the experience was kind of what I was going for. Yeah, and then at a certain point it's like, okay, this experience is it was hard. I mean, it was I know a lot of people travel for work, but I wasn't just traveling for work. You were nice when you put me up at Auburn in a hotel. Most of the time I was on a couch, or I was lucky enough to be in a guest bedroom, and I was trying to put together trips, from Austin. I drove up through, through all of the Big Ten schools to Minneapolis, on a 3-week trip. I did one from, Austin through SEC land, down to Louisiana, Alabama, Georgia, Florida, the Carolinas, and all the way up, up the East Coast. So it was great, but I was driving. I was, living out of my suitcase, and I was, you know, doing the startup thing that people loved, being in person with people and being able to get the content. We were talking before this how you would love to get off of Zoom and be doing in-person interviews, and
Hmm.
how much more conversational that could get. It was awesome.
Yeah.
It's wonderful. And I feel like because I was presenting myself as like, hey, I'm just here, can I stay on your couch? Like, people were very friendly and like took care of me, and like were giving me great content. It was amazing content. So, it wasn't about the money, I guess, to answer your question, really.
Yeah, yeah, and clearly, yeah, and that's a great answer. I really appreciate the insight. Some of that stuff I didn't actually know, but in terms of the content itself, what were you looking for? What did you feel like was great content, and how were you going to get it?
The workout videos were great. Workout videos were the ones that everybody really seemed to enjoy.
It was
And
stuff that people hadn't seen before, right? Like it was, the internet was relatively new in that stage. Sharing of information at that speed was relatively new too. So the content, the workout videos themselves, people are always into workouts for some reason. They're still into it. Like, oh, Brett, tell us a workout. Like, but to me, it's kind of like, wow, but everybody just eats it up, and that it seemed like that content, especially, was getting eaten up at the time, right?
yeah, yeah. It was. I think that was a big piece of the whole flow swimming. I'd love to say that it was my journalistic skills and stuff, and I really appreciated you kind of alluding to how, like, that was it. But it was just very, very fortunate that it all came together at that time, because you're right, it was a thirsty market. They were
Hmm.
so hungry for anything. And I think that's where it really took off and really was so well received. I think now, like you said, on Instagram, you can see what people are doing. Like, putting power towers on a video was just, nobody had ever just, done that, or,
Hmm.
like putting music to it. People do it like all the time now on Instagram, and you can really follow and see what, a lot of programs are doing consistently, not just a glimpse at once. You can see what they're doing pretty regularly.
Yeah, man, it's really evolved. But a lot of inspiration has been drawn from what you did, man, and it was groundbreaking at the time.